Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, SimplyFoodByTy. Come on into the kitchen, honey, because today we are whipping up some gluten-free vegan chocolate chunk cookies. All right, y'all, so I wanted to do some investigating on a vegan gluten-free cookie. So I was doing some research online and I was trying to decide like whose recipe I thought would be great to try. So I came across Adrienne Bailon, which some of you may know her from 3LW. She was also she's a talk show host on The Real. She also won The Masked Singer. She's done a lot of shit. But I came across her video and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try out this recipe because everything that she listed as far as the measurements is pretty much exactly what I would do to make regular cookies. So I thought, okay, well, if we're switching over to gluten-free and vegan products, then this should be a breeze. So let me run down exactly what the ingredients are. I'm going to be using some coarse kosher salt. Now, just so you guys know, there's a few, very minute tweaks to the recipe that I made, but for the most part, this is her original recipe. I'm also going to be using Bob's Red Mill pretty much for all of these products for the most part. Gluten-free all-purpose flour, organic coconut flour, gluten-free baking soda, as well as organic coconut sugar. Now, I'm going to be using oat milk. Now, of course, for this particular recipe, because it's vegan, you can use whatever type of nut milk you would like. That's completely up to you. You don't necessarily have to use oat milk. I'm also going to be using some cultured vegan butter. I also have sugar. I'm going to be using, now this is kind of where things kind of differ from what she did. I'm going to be using blocks of dark chocolate. Of course, it's vegan dark chocolate. And then I'm also going to be using the Simply Delicious chocolate morsels. And then one other thing that I'm going to use is pure maple syrup. But beyond that, I think it's time for us to just go on ahead and start cooking, honey. Alrighty, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is add in 1 cup of the gluten-free all-purpose flour. Then next up, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of our coconut flour. Then after that, we're going to be adding in 1/2 teaspoon of the gluten-free baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of the kosher salt, and just go ahead and give that a mix. You want to put, of course, your dry ingredients in a separate bowl, just so that we don't overwork the flour and then you end up with tough cookies. Now, of course, like I said, this is a vegan gluten-free recipe, so I'm going to be using vegan butter. So that was 1/2 cup of vegan butter, 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. I used 1/4 cup of pure cane sugar. And then this was roughly about 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then I added in 3 tablespoons of oat milk. And then I added in 1 full tablespoon of the maple syrup. Now, of course, if you want yours a little bit sweeter, by all means, you can absolutely add in more of the maple syrup. I wouldn't say add too much more of the regular sugar because I just think it'll be too much. Now, of course, once you get this nice and smooth, you can set that to the side and let's work on the chocolate. So I used roughly, I would say about 1 cup of those chocolate chips. And then what I realized as I was chopping up this block of chocolate is that I actually only needed 1 block of chocolate. That was actually more than enough. Now, of course, you're using the block of chocolate because you want to have decent sized chunks of the chocolate in it. So just be mindful of that as you are chopping it up. You don't want to chop it up too fine, but of course you don't want, a huge block. So I just give it a few rough chops. I would say also, just as a little tip, when you're doing this, put it in the freezer for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. It'll make it so much easier to chop up the way that you really want it to be, just FYI. So now that we got our dry ingredients done, the wet ingredients done, the chocolate done, now we can slowly start to add in the flour. I did it in 2 parts. Go ahead and have your oven preheated, by the way, at 350 degrees. Now, because this is gluten-free flour, you don't necessarily have to worry about overworking this, but I still like to err on the side of safety. So I would say go ahead and still add it in equal parts. Just add the first half in, mix it up, then go ahead and add the second half in and then mix it up. That way you're not over mixing it because you don't want to risk it. So now we can start to add in all of our lovely bits of chocolate. And as you can see, I mean, this is a lot of chocolate. This recipe only makes 6 cookies, you guys. So I mean, that's also something to keep in mind. Know that this recipe only makes six decent sized cookies. You can really stretch it out and make thin ones, but you know, I like big hunky cookies. Now I'm simply folding in the chocolate chips. Of course, you don't want to be too rough because you don't want to break up those big chunks of chocolate. So try not to be too rough. Also, you don't want to overmix it. So once you know that the chocolate is, you know, fully mixed in there, just put the spoon down and just walk away. Don't just keep mixing and mix. So I have a silicone mat here, which I love when making cookies just because it just makes it so much easier. Now, of course, you can use an ice cream scoop, or like what I'm doing is I'm using a 3/4 cup measuring spoon. And as you can see, that's gonna be a pretty nice size cookie. And it made about 6 of them. I probably could have squeezed out 7, but I got 6. So just know if you want more, you would need to double, if not triple, this recipe. You want to put those in the fridge for about a half hour so that they can get nice and cold. Don't press them down in the middle. Put them in the oven for about 13 minutes. Keep an eye on them. And then they are going to come out absolutely divine. Now, these cookies are very, very, very soft. So give them time to firm up a bit before you try to start moving them around and all that, or they'll completely fall apart. Look, I really hope you guys tried this recipe. I think they turned out absolutely delicious. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Simply Food by TY. If you're one of my returning subscribers, well, y'all babies know I love y'all so much. And as always, y'all stay cute and take care. Bye, guys. Enjoy.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food.